Right, just enable flash, you can see what I'm doing. Right. Move the dust sheets a bit closer together. So then, hello folks, welcome back to the channel. I know there's not anyone watching at the moment, but might as well just start the stream off. So the reason why the last stream that I did cut off like that basically is because well, basically the Wi-Fi dropped, and then when I did come back on, it didn't last very long, so that's why the last stream I did basically stopped. Now, I'm working on the cab roof at the moment. I sanded back at the top, and this is the underside. You can see on this side is the original paint, on this side is the new paint. Now, we can see it was sort of a browny reddish originally. So I thought, right, well, I'll just patch up the bits that are missing paint. But then I thought I might as well just do the whole thing, as I don't really want a spotty roof. So, the paint that I'm using is Phoenix Precision Buffer Beam Red Gloss. And the reason is, it's the only red paint I have at the moment. So on the inside of the cab, let's bring the logo up. You can see it also has that browny reddish in. So what I'm going to do is on the inside walls, I'll paint it the same colour as the outside. But then on the back head of the boiler, it'll be black still, and I'll paint the controls separately. So that's my plans for that. I'm not expecting a whole load to join this live stream because not many people want to watch me mess on with old stuff like locomotives and all that for a long time. So just before we go any further, if you enjoyed the stream, please leave a like. And if you're new to the channel, or for whatever reason you haven't already, then please consider subscribing. So basically I'm going to do coat number 1 on the right hand side. And I'm going to go back and put coat number 2 on the left hand side. Are we in focus? No, we are. But so yeah, I'm going to do 2 coats. I might have to do 3 depending on what coat number 2 looks like. Now what I like about this paint is no matter how rough you actually paint it on, all the brush strokes basically disappear. So you can see on this side, looks like I did it with spray paint 'cause it's so smooth, but this side, still waiting on the paint strokes to even out a little bit more. So how has everybody's day been so far? Let's turn the live chat on. So that's that done. I'm going to go back and do left hand side now. So if you haven't already seen the poll that I posted, what livery should this local go in. So far it's a BR green, and I think LNER apple green is in second place. I was hoping LNER apple green, but if you guys want BR green, I don't mind that at all. So if you haven't already gone and voted, then please do, because in the next few days, or maybe even in the next week, I'll be going and buying the primer and the paint, so get voting if you haven't already. There we are, it's looking a lot better now. So I'll say what, we'll sit this on there to dry. In the meantime, I'm gonna try and get as much of the paint out of this brush as I can. Now with this being metal paint, it doesn't want to leave the brush. Now don't worry, I don't drink out of this cup. This is specifically for paint and glue and whatever else may be on the brushes. Put it back on the paint. Now if I were you, I would use this stuff in a well ventilated area, because with it being a gloss paint, it has some rather bad vapours. In fact, on the instructions it says don't breathe vapours or spray. But unfortunately I'm sat here inhaling them, so I guess I'm going to die at some point in the near future. Right. So while we wait for the cab roof to dry, I guess we can work on the loco. Now, as you can see, I've got most of the paint off, enough to put the primer on. There's still a little bit left on it to get off the running board. Now what I do with that is, I get a small knife blade, and now because the running board's got this sort of mesh on, you can see the mesh there. I can't really use sandpaper, so I have to physically go in and basically scrape the paint out. So I rest on the desk like there, so you can see basically scrape out all the paint, which takes a very long time, but it has to be done. So you can see on this side I've already done that. So I ought to work on the inside of the cab. So detail wise, well, it sort of lacks detail. It has, I guess, rivet detail. Come on, focus. It has rivet detail around there. It has and gauge and lever and the firebox door. Now, this is not a detailed scale model, therefore I'm not bothered about lack of cab detail. However, I am bothered about the fact that it's bent. So I'm going to very gently bend it back, straighten it up a little. Now, with this being very old, don't apply like lots of force all at once, but just do it nice. So apply a decent amount of force, otherwise it won't bend, but do it slowly, otherwise you'll end up cracking and then breaking the tin plate. It's better than it was. It's still a bit bent. That's the best we'll get it for the time being. Right. Let's get me rather rough sandpaper. See what, we use the finest stuff on the bare metal down here. Because I really don't want to sand off the metal. Or even that's out of shape. It's only taking some of it off. As you can see, with the mesh being also on the cab floor, it'll be quite hard to get the paint out. So for anyone who is watching, there will be more interesting stuff on the channel soon. It's just finding the time to make the videos and edit them. I might have to return to every other day videos instead of daily uploads. Obviously the original paint well applied because I can't get the damn stuff out. So looking behind the camera, we have one like on the stream and one person watching. God, this old paint's well applied. Now, with it being really old, I don't know whether it's a lead-based paint or a mercury-based paint, but I'm sure whatever it is, it's shortening my lifetime by quite a bit. I'm guessing that the original paint, looking at how bad and how old it is, I'm guessing it'll be some sort of lead or mercury based stuff. But whatever it is, the green paint, which was like 2 millimeters thick in some places, I came off in like a very, very, very fine dust. So I'm guessing that was like a powdered paint that had been mixed in with other stuff. Whatever this paint's made out of, it's not coming off very easy, is it? So you can see, if I bring this up, hopefully it focuses, but you can see, on focus, where that sort of lighter red paint is, that's the original paint, and where it's got this darker sort of brown over the top, that's obviously like the overcoat or like a varnish. That's obviously really dirty. That's why it looks like two totally different. I reckon it'll be a good few days before this cab is ready for a new coat of paint. Because the damn stuff ain't coming out. I'll work somewhere else for a little bit. Get rid of the dust from on the inside. Oh, that is difficult to get into. Right. I think I'll do the cab off camera because otherwise we'll be here for a good few days. Actually, that reminds me. I'll see if I can find a new one of these coils because it's broken in a few places. Let's see if I can find a bit where it's broken. If I spin this, I'll do this actually, it should bring it round into a place where it's broken. Spin the wheels enough, it should spin it round. As you can see how it is unwinding very slowly. That ticking sound is it unwinding. If we bring it up and hold out of focus, as you can see, the spring is slowly getting looser. I can find a bit where it's bust. I'm going to very gently turn it. Try not to round off the bit while I'm doing it. Yeah. So we can see, if you look here, that it's broken. In fact, you can see there how it's bust. So it won't wind up, which means I have to try to find a new one. So I'm going to turn my computer on. I hate that bloody sound that makes me turn it on. But I've got to live with it. Now, I moved the mouse out of the way yesterday while I was working on the notebook and I can't remember where I put it. It's over here somewhere. That's the... Where did I put my mouse? See, this is what happens when you do a lot of DIY work and all that. You lose things like your mouse. Right. So for anyone who is watching, how has everybody's day been so far? Right, I've got the chat open, so if you want to comment in the chat, you can. Let's just close that. Open up Google. So I need to basically find out how big it is. In order to do that, I need the tape measure, which I'll put here. So you can see the bottom of it here. It's also magnetic. So it's going to be a bit difficult because the key thing is in the way. So from the top, I'm going to do this, and to the bottom, it's 2¼ inches, or about 600 millimeters. No, 60 millimeters. By right, so it's 6 centimeters by 1 centimeter. I think if we go on to like a website, hopefully, and the mainspring. So have you order one from? No, it isn't, so I'm not interested. No, I'm not interested in signing up either. This is the issue with all these older ones. Trying to find one that actually fits what you need. Don't want to be paying ridiculous money. Yes, that's what I want. Right. Clockwork, spring for tape measure ruler, flat. Right, what's the size? Doesn't say how big it is. Oh, it's also unavailable. That's no good. So for anyone who's just joined, currently join me, try to find spring. This one, if we look, you can just see it there. It snapped. Only I didn't break it, I got it like that. Therefore I need to try and find one. No point looking on eBay because they'll all be bust. That seems like a reasonable one where we can order how big we need. Oh, no. I think they're called tension springs, aren't they? No. They're not called tension springs at all, are they, James? lamp back in because it's going to run out of charge. It's not a compression spring, available springs. I don't even think it is a spring, to be honest. It's neat goes. Nice. This looks like a clock springs are like many other springs used for storage of energy, where linear springs as compression and tension springs are able to capture movements. Torsion springs, as well as the clock springs, able to catch what I need. A torsion spring. Oh, is this not a website where I can buy stuff from? Useless. It's the website we were on before. So, if I can't get one, then I'm guessing you just have to have this as a static model. Let's go on the shopping page. Right, so what did we say it was? We said it was 6 centimeters by 1 centimeter. 13, no. Right, we need a very thin one. 0.7 millimeters by 8 millimeters, that'll be tiny. Don't want a 6-inch one because that'll be humongous. Don't want something off a drill press. Actually, on about drill presses, I probably could do with one. Now, there are some rather decent ones at the school I go to, but then don't really use them very much. When we do use them, it's just usually for small things, not anything major. Clockwork spring coil. Don't want anything off Wish. I don't want a drill press one. Clock main spring. Oh, we can change the size. Excellent. Oh God. God, you know them huge. So we said it was 10 by. Do you want any small ones? Helpful if we could have a smaller one, like. Right, well, to anyone who's still watching, turns out buying replacement springs when they snap is useless. You can't. Oh, come on. Right. I'll have to have a decent look at some point when I'm not streaming, because it's useless because you can't find one. That answers that then. So we've been live for about half an hour. There's quite a few been watching. Just a bit of a shame. Plus, for any of you who don't already know, I still need to get a new wheel because it shouldn't have a massive crack in it like that, and it also shouldn't have a piece missing. So it's going to be even harder to find a spare wheel. I think the cab roof paint should be dry. I was wrong. I've put a fingerprint in it. Well done, James. However, now that we've repainted it, it does look a whole lot better. Even though it shouldn't really be in buffer beam red, but you know. However, I've got this working quite nicely. Ignore the fact that it bounces round on the track. This is a scale low gauge track. This is not scale. About 70-year-old big flanges. But at least it works. In fact, the wheels on this are quite rusty, so running it up and down is making them quite shiny actually. Anyway, let's get on with the loco. So, you can see on this side how I've removed all the paint from the running board. And then on this side, I'm still yet to do it. So how I do it is get this small knife blade. Don't try this at home. Use a sand blasting machine if you can. They're basically the squirt out high pressure sand. So it's basically a car jet wash, only it doesn't wash your car. It blasts sand out and it basically acts like sandpaper that can remove, you know, paint like in spaces that you can't reach. If only I had one of them I could use. God, my life would be so much easier, wouldn't it? But no, because I haven't got one of them, I have to physically sit here and scrape all the paint out of all the nuts and crannies of the running board. And then sit here and inhale the dust that comes off because this paint is so crusty and old. Now this isn't, well, I mean it is making the end of this knife, the tip of the blade, blunt, but just off the little bits that I'm doing, it shouldn't really affect it. However, even my very sharp knife is struggling to get through this God knows how old, crusty old paint. So for any model railway fans, hopefully on Saturday I'll have, well, maybe might be on Sunday by the time I've edited this and linked all the lips up. I'm planning on doing a day on the Housing Wharf model railway. So from first thing in the morning, what I've got to do, to last thing at night. So we'll go down to the engine sheds and watch all the steam locomotives raising steam in the morning. hopefully. Now I can watch the trains running a bit later on. Hopefully, if all goes to plan. Now, another thing that worries me is I don't know if the paint that's on this is lead based or if it has like mercury or whatever in. So every time I scrape a bit of the paint out and dust goes flying up into the air, I could potentially shorten my lifespan. Well, only time will tell, won't it? There's 5 people watching us live at the moment. I think everyone's watching because I'm going to end up stabbing myself with this knife as I poke the paint out from all the nuts and crannies. Just watch, this knife's going to slip out. I'm going to cut the enemy finger off. Ow. Missed the finger, bashed me knuckle. God, this paint is bloody solid. Paint up bits. So I've got most paint out. Ow. I've just stabbed myself in the end of the finger. Disclaimer, don't try this at home, please. It's not nice when you stab yourself in the end of your finger. bits of paint out. Right, so I have got quite a lot of the paint out. I've obviously still got to go back and get the little bits that I've missed. I've obviously got to go back and get them out. But that's good enough for me. So we've got 3 watching live. We've been live for about 41 minutes. Still runs nice and smoothly. So I need to find a new wheel and a new spring coil for said chassis. I need to finish sanding off the loco, and hopefully the next time I do a video on the clockwork locomotive, it will be painting it. Now, the inside the cab roof, it's obviously a lot better now. Paint's still very tacky, so I'm going to leave it there. I'll probably just end up leaving it overnight to dry. So yeah. Fast. And where did I put this screw? I think I put it on my... No. I know I've put the screw somewhere for it. He says. Oh yes, James, you've obviously put the screw in such a safe place that now we can't bloomin' find it. That's quite bad. So that's the rivet which used to be for the tender. I'll find it at some point in the future. So, I'll tell you what, I'm going to avoid touching the wet paint. I'm just going to put that like that. That actually looks decent, even though the locomotive's silver. The steam dome will still be the brass. All of that it is now. But I don't know whether to paint this whole section here, which is meant to be the smoke box. I don't know whether I'm going to paint this whole bit black and then the rest of it in whatever livery you guys decide. I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. But we're going to have to end the stream soon, because where I live, it's about, well, it's almost 10:15 at night, and I have school tomorrow. In fact, I have the worst day on the timetable because I have 2 double lessons. I have 1 double in the morning and 1 double in the afternoon. And for anyone who's been to school before, who will know that when you have a double in a subject that you're not really bothered about, like English, and it's going to be a long drag. found the screw for the steam dome. Right. Get it off. I'll scotch the paint off. There we go. That looks alright, doesn't it? Well, I need to make the bolt slash screw head shiny, because obviously that bit there on the top is on show. And I thought it needs to be nice and shiny. So this is 240 grit sandpaper. I'm just gonna very gently sand the crap and the muck off the top. Well, not the best, just this. So there's still a few watching. Basically spin the screw in the sandpaper, and that'll get the sides done. Well, the sides of the head at least. One focus there. And we also now here's the bolt slash screw head. It's nice and shiny like a dome. So then we're going to end the stream there. So if you enjoyed, then please leave a like. And if you're new to the channel, or for whatever reason you haven't already, then please consider subscribing. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.